today our emphasis, I think this is where we stopped. Temperance in eating must be practiced before you can be a patient man. We saw that in Testimonies to the Church, Volume 3, page 416. Now, let us look at the key aspects of biblical temperance in eating. This is an executive summary. Sorry, those ones in red, I think I'll read them from here. First aspect, when it comes to temperance biblically, we are looking at temperance being a fruit of the Spirit. Temperance is not mere willpower, but a fruit of the Holy Spirit, implying it is achieved through divine strength and self-control. Remember, this is, like an executive summary. Because when you look at temperance, most of the things are going to be looked at in other forms. Then the other aspect is temperance being not just less, but better. It is not simply about eating less, but rather, as noted by the writings of Sister White, it involves turning inward to align with divine order and moderation. You may be eating less, but that less that you're eating is not sufficient to build your body. Ensuring that appetite is in subjection to the moral and intellectual powers. When the other goal of temperance is to glorify God. Temperance is glorifying God. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 31, commands, whether therefore you eat or drink, or whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of God. Avoiding overindulgence. Proverbs 23:20. Proverbs chapter 23, verses 20, 21. It warns against joining those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat, likening such intemperance to poverty. Remember, when we talk about wine and meat, many times we are going to flesh. Because some people may read that and they think that now here God is giving us permission to indulge ourselves in wine, a little bit of wine, and you eat some meat. But when you read in the book of Numbers, Leviticus, meat here, they are meaning bread, food actually. This is what they are meaning. And wine, that is juice. However much you may love apple juice, but that doesn't mean that you should you should drink a lot of apple juice to the extent that there is no space left in the tummy. All in all, there should be temperance in whatsoever we do. Mark, you should remember that the definition of temperance, which is avoiding excess in the good things and abstaining from the wrong things. Spiritual preparedness. Temperance, such as in Daniel 1:8, keeps the mind clear to discern temptation and resisting it. Health and discipline. True temperance requires carefully observing natural laws so that the organs of the body are not hindered, promoting a sound life. Steps to cultivate temperance. Steps to cultivate temperance. 1. How are you to obtain temperance? Temperance is not, something that you'll wake up. Actually, it's like forgiveness. Did you know that forgiveness is a gift? If you don't bear that gift of forgiveness, you can't forgive anyone. Yeah, we are fond of talking, I've forgiven thee. But deep inside you are a true definition of what Christ called the Pharisees. Ye fools, hypocrites. You are whitened sepulchres, but deep inside are bones of dead men. Brother Mgisha, I've forgiven you, no worries. But deep inside, God knows what's happening. So forgiveness, the same as temperance, is a gift. Ask for God's power to overcome unnatural cravings, as Ellen White talks about it. That appetite you have, what we call the American appetite, unless you seek divine intervention, there is nothing. Actually, without God, there is nothing that you can do by your own. We should practice principle over appetite. Eat to live, not to live to eat. Focusing on a healthy, simple diet. Some people, you may think that their agenda on life is just to live, to eat. Not eating to live. With that, we should listen to our bodies. When you eat food, when do you stop? Meaning, what is the point of satiety? When you're eating food, how do you know that I'm satisfied, I should stop here? Hello? We don't know. Hey, when we eat food, how do you know that I should stop here? I'm satisfied. Do you first have to throw up? Sister Fish, when they have given you a plate, a bucket of tofu, and you're eating, where do you stop and claim that you are satisfied? Yes, ma'am. Okay, when no longer have appetite for it, okay. When the stomach is full, yes. Any other food, whatever, your best.
If it is tough, appetite may test me when I'm done. But then any other food, maybe when I feel I'm no longer hungry.
When you're no longer hungry, okay. Brother, come here, saying something. When you're full, When the? Breathing. Some people, they can stop eating after realizing that, oh boy, I can't breathe well. And others, when they can't bend, so there is, when you're too full, you can't. But however, the fact is, we should leave our dining tables when you still feel like you want to eat. The point of satiety, is a point whereby you reach and you feel like the next, let me say it like this by giving an explanation. Assuming you have like 5 potatoes on your plate and you eat 2. By the time you think about it, that if I eat the other 3, I'm going to be satisfied, you are satisfied. The moment you think about that, let me finish up this food and I'm done, just know that you are already satisfied. When you talk about the point of satiety, this is whereby you should leave your plate when you still want to eat. You see, I would say that when it comes to food, we have different size in the body organ, the stomach and all that. But I may not give a definite quantity of food like how it is with water. Because with water, it's easy to regulate. If every hour you sip down 1 glass, every hour you get a glass, but the problem is you may do the 60 glasses a day or the 8 or 10 and you have gotten nothing, or you have gotten just 1 glass out of the 8. Why? Many times we just gulp the water. You get your cup of water because you're too thirsty. The only time you remove that cup from your mandible when it's done, that's wrong. At the end of the day, you're not getting anything. I read somewhere, I may not have the source now, but I promise next time I come. When you do water, for instance, those who just gulp the water, a glass, you down it. The last bit of water is what is going to be useful. Why? However thirsty you are, but the last bit is that which is going to take time in your mouth. The digestion of water begins in the mouth. That's why it's imperative that whenever you're doing water, gargle it in your mouth, let it mix with saliva, so that it can also get to balance the temperature. The temperature of the water should be equivalent to the body temperature, meaning sip your water, gargle, swallow. Within an hour, you're going to finish 1 glass. By the end of the day, you'll be done with 3 liters of water, which is okay. Now, when it comes to food, leave alone the American appetite. That you first have to eat the 5 pieces of potato because you work a lot here and there. Don't eat to the extent that you won't be able to be useful in the next 1 or 2 hours. No. One, you may also be temperate in your eating. You eat maybe a piece, you feel like if I finish this other piece, I'll be okay, and you stop there because the other portion it's remaining for water. After now, I'm going to sip water and everything would be okay. But like we said with water, you have to gargle water in your mouth. So it is with the food, the way you chew it. Many times, because the food is so sweet and all that, we eat like we are gluttons, we are rushing, so on and so forth. Like someone is going to come in and join you whom you don't want to find you eat. So you chew, 1, 2, 3, you swallow. 1, 2, 3, you swallow. At the end of the day, that food won't be useful in your body. There is surface area to volume ratio. The more you chew food, the more it's going to be worked upon. You have to raise its surface so that enzymatic activities can take over. Meaning, the last time I read, the softest food we eat, bananas, ripe or Irish, you have to chew it between 20 and 25 times before you swallow. Trust me, you're going to do 2 pieces of Irish. Some people just swallow. So, you try it one day, just get 2 pieces of, just eat your normal food, but take time to chew. The more time you take chewing, that means that you're going to eat less food and you'll be fuller. You chew food and feel like, I'm soon getting satisfied. Just know you are satisfied. However delicious the food is, just leave it on the plate. If you eat food without thoroughly chewing, 1, you're going to get less nutrients out of it. People who eat the most, they are not the most healthy. True or false? People who eat a lot of food, they are not the most healthy. You see someone, eating a lot of food, but very skinny, very tiny, and you ask yourself, where does this food go? Then you find those who eat less food and they are very healthy. But this one has to be in quotes. There are those who have hormonal issues, because also hormones affect that. You eat a piece of banana in the morning, you are satisfied the entire day and you're growing fat. That's again dangerous. But here, what I'm talking about, it comes to masticating food. The longer you chew food, you are raising the surface for the enzymes to work on it, whereby a lot of nutrients are being absorbed from that little food. So we should be aware of that. Did you know that fasting is also good? Denying yourself food, right? Denying your. Now let me ask, how is fasting help one's relationship with God? Yes? How does fasting, help? How determines one relationship with God? If you don't know the answer, we are going to leave it. And we're going to read about it next Sabbath, by the grace of God, the other Sabbath. Much as we shall be introducing something else, but it will come in. Yes, Chief? Mm. Mm. Very low. Mm. Mm. Mm.
But someone who pass, because that less burden in the stomach. So the mind is very free to concentrate. I now understand why Christ will take some hours out, go and fast. I don't know the best time that they will be able to concentrate.
Yes.
What we are told, fasting goes along with prayer. When you don't have time for God, it's when you're fasting, because the mind will not have anything that will not.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Yeah, that's it. Any other thing to add on?
Research shows that human beings they always search for God in their lowest or weakest times.
Mm.
When human beings are in their toughest time, that's when the prayer will be true. In fasting time, you feel that need of seeking for God, for God's intervention. Mostly when you get hungry, you feel like I should seek for God. So there's no fasting helps. Most of the time, human beings, when they are satisfied and they are having everything on the table, they don't feel like they have that urge of seeking for God.
Okay. Yeah, we are right. I won't repeat what they said. Let's look at some Bible verses about that, about temperance. This is cutting across. Temperance, by the way, when we talk about temperance, temperance is not all about food. No. Temperance is not all about food. Some of the quotations and Bible verses we are going to be looking at, as we give examples, it will be cutting across. In Galatians chapter 5, verses 22 to 23, we are listing temperance as the fruit, as one of the fruit of the Spirit, right? Whereby it's a temperance in each and everything. Temperance in dress, temperance in what? In eating, using remedies, so on and so forth. Even when you're studying the Bible, we should be temperate. Know that it's so beautiful. You have to read from morning to evening without doing anything else. No. We shall be looking at that. Proverbs 23 verses 20-21 warns about gluttony. That is overeating. We should also be mindful of that. 1 Corinthians 10:31, it reminds us to do all to the glory of God. My brother and my sisters, the thing is, whatever you're doing, always ask yourself, does it glorify God? You who are married, don't ask yourself, will this glorify my spouse? No. Salvation is personal. However much you love each other, like how you see a coin with both sides, salvation will be on individual basis. You'll never be saved as a church. You'll never be saved as married couples or as a family. No. Always ask yourself, does it glorify God? The food I'm putting, which is before me, does it glorify God? The dresses that I'm gonna wear and move out, does it glorify God? so on and so forth. Daniel chapter 1 verses 8. This is Daniel's decision to not defile himself with the king's food. Here appetite kicks in. 1 Corinthians 9:25. Every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Okay, the brother is asking one, I think he's having like 3 questions in one. One, it comes to salt in food. You may be seated on your dining table, and some people feel like the salt is a lot or is enough, and other people, they feel the salt is not enough. And now with that, can they add their moral salt? But there is a teaching that salt, raw salt, is not good. That's one. 2, the other question is about those who eat raw food. There is a teaching that encourages eating raw food. Not so? Now, let's go back to salt. Many times we eat a lot of salt. For instance, let me give an example of rice and beans. Rice and beans. Salt. Too much salt is one of the leading causes of hypertension, which is high blood pressure. And that salt again is going to affect the kidneys, meaning that when you do excess salt, at the end of the day, you must take a lot of water to wash it out of the system. So the kidneys are being jeopardized, and also in that process, high blood pressure will kick in because of the excess electrolytes. But for instance, I always tell people that many times when it comes to such, personally, I pray to be corrected. I don't consult, taste many times, but I look at the value. That's why I say that someone is making passion juice and is adding their sugar, right? But you can get the passion and just eat it. Do you add their sugar? When you do lemon, do you add their sugar? Oranges, no. But when you do make juice out of it, you prefer sugar is in there. At times we'll say perverted appetite, or would say that we need, sweet things. We have, a bunch of spiritual lessons to learn in that. But having said that, the rice and beans, right? How do you prepare rice and beans in terms of salt input? When you're cooking rice yourself at home, actually the food is rice and sauce is beans, chickpeas, lentils, blah blah, garbanzo beans, so on and so forth. How do you measure your salt in those? You put in sauce, and that's what you do at home. Okay, and another person? You put in both. Okay. Okay, you put in both. When you put in both, what is always your estimate or your taste? To answer that, many times when we put in both, you make sure that the rice had gotten enough salt, right? What comes in our mind that in case the sauce is done, I can eat the rice without sauce because it's having salt, right? And others, also in sauce, there should be enough salt. Why? I'm eating this sauce, the rice now in the evening, I may do posho, I may do matoke, where I'm not going to add salt. But you're doing excess salt. If, assuming you are to do 4 grams of salt in a day, and you're preparing beans and rice, if you can't put all the 4 in one, either it would be better actually you put the salt in the sauce. Let it be enough. If it's 4 grams, put all the 4 grams in the sauce. In the rice, don't put there salt. Rice is not eaten like posho, that you're going to get a piece of posho and you chew. No. With the rice, you pour a sauce over the food, right? Over the rice. When you mix and you eat, you won't even show that in the rice there's no salt. That is getting enough salt. Now, the other part too of it is, if it's 4 grams, you can put 2 grams in salt, in rice, and the 2 grams in the sauce. Or you put the 3 in sauce and the 1 the other side. But many times, we overindulge in that. That's why, we have very many issues, because we do a lot of salt, which is very bad. And 2, adding salt onto food. It depends which salt you are doing that you're adding onto. Leave alone the iodized salt. That iodized salt, it's again full, actually too much sodium again. And that is going to lead to heart, cardiovascular diseases. Just be temperate. Actually, instead of adding salt, you would rather squeeze a piece of lemon there, and you do your food. Someone is saying something? The sealed water? They're asking, is sealed water good for drinking? Renzori, sealed water. Renzori, Sujui Lakeside, Sujui Divine, Yaket, so on and so forth. We may mention all of them, but that won't answer our question. Hot water, okay, pot water. Yeah. Is it, how good is the water? It's not, it's good but not ideal. Okay, it's good, not ideal. Yes. Why would you go and buy sealed water? We can do our filtration from home. You can filter the water from home. Boil your water. Boil your water. Sorry? Personally, for instance, like the pot water, that's where I find the problem only, because it's having a flavor. Actually, that pot water, the water was not boiled and poured in a pot and stored there so that you get that nice aroma, right? No. That is the same thing like you buying soda, crest, lemon flavor, stony, ginger, Melinda fruity, and all that. All those are flavors. So that is the same mechanism which works the other side. But me, what I do believe with water, yes, my only problem is the fluoride in it.
And then also, okay, why I would say it's not ideal. What I mean is that you can use it under circumstances where you cannot get fresh, pure water. This sealed water, usually some of it goes bad and the company just doesn't realize it's bad. It's until you buy it and you feel it's having a weird smell and taste. That's when you realize it's not really pure anymore. It has overstayed, and sometimes you're not sure of how it's handled. And in other places, you find in other shops, when they put it outside there in the sun and it's in plastic. So I don't think it's as pure water is meant.
Okay. I'm going to, next time I come, I'll talk about that. I think it will be the first thing, talk about the bottled water. Okay? All right. Thank you, sister. Any other question? If not, I can read this quotation. Can I read the quotation or we continue? Sorry? Come again? Raw food. Okay. Yeah, that's another question. What's the dangers or the benefits of eating raw food? And precisely what raw food are you talking about? Cassava, lumonde, cassava, potatoes, and what is the danger of eating raw food? What is the danger? Is it of what health benefit? What health benefit do you get in eating raw potatoes? What food nutrients are you going to get in there? And perhaps the food nutrients in potatoes, are they only active when the potato is boiled, steamed, whatever the case, or eaten raw? Yes? No, there are certain foods which we can't eat raw. When you eat it raw, you're just going to fill your tummy. When you talked about raw food, was it in Thailand? It was illegal to eat fresh cassava. Actually, it would carry the death penalty. You may do your cassava home in secrecy, but the kid will go out and to play with other kids and will blow it out. We ate cassava, fresh cassava. The police will come in and arrest the mother and the father, or whosoever is in there, because of, the too much starch in there. So they would require you to first dry it. If you are to do it raw, you first soak it in running water for 24 hours to get rid of that. Actually, when you get your cassava and soak it in water, you're going to find that the starch is going to settle down. It's going to settle down, that excess starch. Then, foods like carrots. Have you heard people advising others that to improve on your eyesight, eat carrots, right? Have you heard of that? But have you seen people wearing glasses with eye defects and they are eating carrots? There are very many. Others have even given up. Why? Carrots, that color, they contain beta-carotene. But in its raw form, it's not absorbed by the body. So in order for you to get carrots, we get vitamin A, right? But it's the beta-carotene that will be activated into vitamin A. However, how are you to do that? You first steam it or you soak it in hot water, 5-10 minutes, then you take it. There the beta-carotene will be broken down. Actually, that hot temperature, hot water, acts like a catalyst to which is going to break it down and enable the body convert it into vitamin A, which is going to help. We may talk of eyesight, but vitamin A has very many therapeutic benefits. So we can stick to the eyesight. I prefer with such questions, when we are presenting here, these questions actually, they are giving us a guide. They are guiding us on what to study next. So I don't want to say things out of the blue without quotations, verses, evidence, I mean. So have I written it anyway? That is also going to do what? I think I've written it down, yeah. Eating raw food. Next time when we come, we shall be talking about that, yes. Yes.
But I see people who get big pain, it's coming because of that bacteria. But this fluoride helps kill bacteria. How bad is fluoride?
One, have you ever seen a rat eat toothpaste? Toothpaste, fluoride is the active ingredient in rat poison. That's one. Look at the history of fluoride. It was something to do. Actually, in the inception of it, in introducing fluoride in toothpaste, very many dental issues happened. But because of money, because you want to go and brush and you feel that froth in your mouth, so on and so forth. But very many things do happen there. I'll get the details next Sabbath when I come. Because of the time, I'm going to come in and we'll look at fluoride in depth. It may be 20 minutes, but it will be worth it by the grace of God. But fluoride, it's not something which is supposed to be introduced in our bodies. That's why actually the toothpaste I'm using, it's not having fluoride, it's natural. I love, these things, nature has gotten each and everything. You brush, I think I've taken long without using charcoal. I buy my toothpaste, but it's natural. No fluoride, no can't dark, can't dunky, Indian brand. Sorry? Cloves. You can use cloves, because it's having cloves, peppermint, black pepper, black seed, all those. I think, I don't know, by the grace of God, I may come with some 3-4 pieces, and people will go and use it out and try it out. Because it's so very authentic. No, we don't need the fluoride. That's why even in water, it's so minimal, because it's lethal at the end of the day. Fluoride, very lethal. It's not supposed to be in there. Look at the history, the danger, so on and so forth. I have it here, but my time was already done. Yes, please.
You realize that on the toothpaste, they say you do not swallow.
Exactly.
But you put it in your mouth.
In your mouth.
Why should I put something in my mouth which I cannot swallow?
Exactly.
Number 2, if a child takes it, rush to the hospital.
The hospital for emergency intervention.
And it's written there on the box.
On the box, yeah.
So it means if you're white,
it's because of the fluoride in there.
Putting something in your mouth which is not going to go to the stomach, and you tell me it's good for my teeth.
Thank you. That is the same thing with the cosmetics. Many times the cosmetics we use, we are health reformers, but when it comes to skin care, at times we become health deformers. I'm using Nevia, I'm using this. But when you ask the sister or the brother, and oh, my dear, what could be the ingredients in there? They are going to read a list of ingredients. Then the last word, for external use only. Wow, external use only. If it's external use only, then it shouldn't touch your skin. The skin, whatever you apply on the skin is going to be absorbed into the bloodstream. That's why, we have very many cases of hormonal imbalance. Why? Most of these skincare products, the ingredients they are in, they lead to they disrupt the endocrine glands, the breasts, the thyroid, You're applying it on top, but the ingredients, what chemicals? Glycerin. You know that the glycerin is so good, but it dries your skin from inside out. Your skin becomes so smooth, but the wrinkles are forming from inside. You find someone is 22 years, but she's becoming old, or is becoming old. Hormonal issues. Actually, hormonal imbalance is the order of the day. I pray to stop.